Boca saying today? Well, if you're like most of us, you're happy that tax season is coming to a close. We've been reviewing budgets and assessing our assets. With us today is Lenore Wachtel, who voluntarily has been reviewing the city budget and assessing the city's assets for many years. Welcome, Lenore. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. You know, believe it or not, there might be a few people out there that are not familiar with your history with the city. So perhaps you'd take a minute or so and just give us a little bit of your background.
Okay. I've been here in South Florida since 1969, involved with the city since then. I actually moved into the city in 71. And I've wanted to keep up and tried to keep up going to regularly to the meetings, particularly the workshop and the CRA. The CRA was formed in the late 80s, and I've been very active in that and very active with Meisner Park. I was for Meisner Park, but I felt strongly that the financials were not correct. And myself and a number of people tried to influence them. We didn't do a good job. We actually were in the hole $25 million to the city. $25 million. Yes, we lost on the deal. And we were assured that it would not cost the citizens one single dime. I think in the end we will come out all right. But the public-private partnerships are tricky.
Yes. You know, speaking of Meisner Park, not too long ago, you wrote an article for Boca Watch, or a letter of yours was printed in Boca Watch about the museum, the cartoon museum. Is there any update on the status of that?
No, actually, the cartoon museum at the southern end of the park was supposed to be cultural. And it turned out, you know, we had the cartoon museum there, and it went bankrupt. And we let GGP, who owns the buildings, we let them pick it up. And they invested money in the building, and so they got the ground floor. And then we let Charlie Seaman rent out the rest of the building as a nonprofit. And my own personal opinion was he did not do a good job. They are trying to revamp it a little bit because the second floor should be cultural.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't use it for cultural enough. I don't think we do. We have a big open space that I would like to see rotated among scientific exhibits and other exhibits for the public.
What a great idea.
Which I understand it's being leased to people on an occasional basis who shouldn't. There is a little theater there that is, when it's used, it's good. But perhaps it could be part of the second floor that's used more regularly.
Well, to me, you know, kind of in a way, it's such a big portion of the downtown that's been neglected, much like the waterfront, you know, the Wildflower parcel. So hopefully, you said the city has a lot of plans going forward for 2017. You're on the Financial Advisory Board. You know, what do you see coming down the road for us?
Well, the city has money. It has a nice reserve fund. We have probably not been spending as much as we should on a number of different things. My personal thing was Lake Wyman. We really let Lake Wyman Park go. It was a really nice place for families and children. It had the canoe trails and the kayaking trails, and the boardwalks was lovely because it has the 4 kinds of mangroves, which is great. It's very ecologically sensitive area, and they just let it go. We got an offer from FINE, Florida Inland Navigation District, to put in $3 million to really renovate. But there were people at Golden Harbor who were against it, and we turned it down. So now we're discussing it again. But one of the things they want to put there are boat ramps.
Right.
And I think the public ought to be very aware of where the boat ramps are going to go and what they're going to do and how much traffic there will be and so forth. I think that everybody ought to participate in that, because I think this is a very valuable park, and we certainly don't want to ruin it.
True. You know, they discussed that a little bit at the visioning session for the waterfront last week. I know you got up and spoke on that. They talked about boat ramps at Lake Wyman, so we'll see what happens there.
That's one of the things they want to do. They want to do a waterfront assessment and try to link the waterfronts and all, which would be wonderful. I mean, we do have a lot of waterfronts, some of which who are not used maximally that we could.
Right.
But I think the public ought to get involved. They ought to know. And one of my concerns is we hired UDA to do the downtown. We pay them over $1 million, over $1 million. I went to all their charrettes, which were wonderful. I was on committees. I watched them work. Everything looks so wonderful. And look what we got. Everybody's unhappy with what we got for over $1 million. And I went to the last group that they were here, and everybody complained, and they said, we're done. Turned it over to local architects, and they
Wow.
walked out.
Oh my
After we
gosh.
paid them over $1 million, and they walked out on us, and they said, get your local architects to help you.
Wow.
So we have to beware.
Yes.
We have to beware, and people have to get involved. They have to come to meetings, and they have to get involved. Right now, they're talking about the waterfront, but they're also talking about a governmental center.
Right. So what's going on with that?
I think they've hired somebody who's going to begin on it. But I think we ought to think about it too. I mean, what my understanding is what they have planned is to build a new city hall, I'm not sure where, and tear down the old one. I myself, I like the city hall and I like where it is, and I would like to see major renovations. I would like them to tear down the community center, which is
That
very
could go.
old and
Yeah,
dilapidated.
that can go.
And they have an annex behind it, which was a teen center. Tear down both of those, add that to the parking, and extend the city hall. That's my opinion. But we'll have to see what they come up with. I don't want to see us build the Taj Mahal. I don't think that we need it.
Right.
And we have a great library, which is acting as a community center, both libraries, which is wonderful. I'm very, very happy
Yes.
with those.
It's a great venue.
And with what they're doing. Yeah.
Do you think, would it be possible to maybe put the beach and parks, combine that with the city center, get everything under one roof?
Well, the beach and parks, has a different taxing authority.
Right.
It goes all the way out to the turnpike, so it takes in other people than us, which is good because we have a broader tax base for it. And there being only beach and parks, I think they've done a very good job. Although I am concerned about they want to work with commercial interests to develop at Ocean Breeze. They want to buy and develop Ocean Breeze, and they've done very well in their properties, their recreational properties. But I have not seen governmental authorities do very well in public-private partnerships, at least the ones that I know of, because they have lawyers that they pay $1 million to get the best for them, and it's
Right.
not necessarily the best for us. Now, Beach and Tax District did, at the time they bought Chuck's restaurant, and they were supposed to make a lot of money from it. They never did lease it out for whatever reason, and now they're going to tear it down. And, of course, the city did not do well financially on Meisner Park. So we have to be very careful. I myself would like to see them sell the commercial and concentrate on what they're good at, which is the recreational. But public has to get involved in that too.
That's true.
That's coming up now. We're going to be selling the Western golf courses, and we're going to get $73 million from that. We're going to get the sales tax money.
Right.
We're going to have that, and then we get what's called tax increment money from the downtown, which is all the taxes from the county, from the fine, from on all the new buildings downtown, which are coming up and will be assessed. So we will have money to do things with, and the public ought to make sure that they are involved in deciding what they want. And it's good to go up and talk at the workshops, which is what I do. But the best thing is, if your community really wants something, is get a bunch of people to
True.
come and have them. All they need to do is, people who don't want to speak have to get up and give their name and say, I agree, or I'm for it, or whatever.
Right.
Just a few words.
Get
And
that
it
on
makes a
public
big
record.
difference.
Yes.
It makes a big difference to the council how many people are there. and
So
forward.
we really are a very wealthy city, it sounds like.
Yes, we're in good financial state, and that is partially due to the staff and to the
Oversight,
council.
sure.
Yes, they've done a very good job. Our budget department and finance department, they've done a very good job. I mean, we didn't even have trouble during the
That's
bust
right.
in 2008.
Yes, that's
Boca
true.
never had trouble.
You know, I know, just switching topics a little bit, a while ago, maybe it was in 2012, if not sooner, or prior to that, there was the push started to make Boca Raton more of a college town. How do you think we're progressing as far as that goes?
I myself take classes at FAU, and I love FAU, and I think it's a wonderful asset to us. I like to keep as much of the college campus on FAU. They have lots of room, they have lots of experience dealing with kids, and I like it there because I think college kids can be a little tricky to deal with. And,
Having 4 children of your own, right?
and grandchildren in college and hearing stories.
Right, right.
And I like the idea of the college campus being on the campus and not too much.
Right. As far as amenities for the students to attract them, of course, we have the beach, and that's where
Which they love.
right, and that's where our waterfront parks would come in as an asset to attract students, as well as the curriculum at FAU.
I must say, my college kids, they come down and they visit with me.
Right.
And they all go to Palmetto Park Road Beach.
See?
And I go over there, and sometimes I watch them, and they're funny. They're no problem at all. The groups of boys stand together, just getting glances at the girls, and the girls are lying on the blankets sunning.
Right.
And they don't
I know.
even mix.
There's never been any
But they
trouble.
like to hang out there, which
Yeah.
is nice. And they like to walk on the street too. They go for
Oh,
sandwiches
sure.
and for ice
Yeah.
cream and stuff.
Yeah, we see them spring break, walking down with their beach chairs, and it's always a good crowd of
Yes.
students. There's never any
Yes.
problems.
We haven't had,
Yeah.
which is nice.
So
I feel safe.
you've
when
had
my kids go there.
more than your share of experience with children, and even still working with young children at Florence Fuller.
Yes.
So that's, I think it's part of your DNA to be caring and giving, and we're so lucky to have you as a spokesperson
you.
for the community.
Thank you. I do my best to try to represent it, and I work with the Federation of Homeowners, and I encourage
Wonderful.
people to go to those meetings. It's the first Tuesday of the month at 8:30 at the community center, and there
Okay.
they get to hear updates on what's going on in town. We try to keep everybody up to date on what is going, and they have a chance to mix. Very often our city council people are there, and state representatives, and they get to mix with them before or after and express themselves personally and meet them, which is all good.
Excellent. Well, Lenore, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you for all your hard work, and thanks for spending some time with our viewers
Well,
today.
I love Boca, and I want to see it progress in good directions.
Well, with your help, we will. That's it for today, everyone. Thanks for watching us. We encourage you to stay involved, stay informed, and keep your comments coming into bocawatch.org.